Hello.
Oh, okay.
We
We have a
good?
certain amount of time.
I'm Corey.
I'm Kelly.
And we're Unleashed. I just flew in from Minneapolis. Kelly picked me up. Thank you very much. And I've just had such an amazing week. Life is so amazing. It's just so beautiful. And I don't know how much more we can say this where people are just tired of hearing us say it. But it is so beautiful. So I was just telling Kelly on the ride back that, so actually all week I had planned on staying at my buddy's place until this morning and flying out. But I just had this feeling that I really wanted to go to the Mall of America in Minneapolis for whatever reason. And so I followed that intuition. And so I'm walking around the Mall of America with a big suitcase because I couldn't find a locker to put it in, and just walked miles around that place. And the amount of diversity and just different cultures, there was probably somebody representing just about every part of the world. People in their outfits from the Middle East, you got, everybody. Tons of Latinos, every type of color of skin you could imagine. And it's just so beautiful. I mean, just watching the amount of beauty that we have in this world all in one place at the same time. And as I walked through this place, I'm just being myself, and I just love loving people. It's just somewhere that I'm at in my life. And I'd talk to people, and just whatever stood out to me, I would say something, and it just, the energy and the feeling of love flowing back into me was just so powerful. But something that I did notice is a lot of people just immediately assume that there's an underlying motive, or for example, there was this one, I was looking for this oil store that I really wanted to find, and they had ended up moving to another part of the mall. And anybody that's ever been to the Mall of America, I think it's the biggest mall in the world. It's the biggest in the country. But I stopped and talked to this woman that kind of looked like she was holistic, kind of into oils and stuff. And that was an assumption I made
Yeah,
on
totally.
her, so I made a judgment. But I stopped her and I was like, "Do you like oils by any chance?" And immediately I could tell she thought I was trying to sell her something. And I could see that she went to say yes, and then she was like, "No, I'm not really into it." And I was like, "Well, I'm looking for a shop that sells oils here." And she's like, "Oh, well, if you want to find it, just go down the Aveda's over here. They'll know exactly where to send you." And it was just interesting to immediately see those walls come up. Immediately she thought that I wanted to do something, that I had some other bless you, that I had some other motive. But bless you, the walls that so many people have built up in their lives out of the hurt, bless you, out of the pain, the trauma, all the stories that they continue to live in a daily basis, it's with them all day, every day. And it's almost like there's just so many people that are just carrying this pain of a story that is just not, it doesn't have to be true anymore. The story of my life only consists of today. What have I done today? At the end of the day, I can look at myself and say, where can I be better? What did I do that was not a 10? What did I do that is not best for my life today? And just continue striving to improve and become better. But it's just, I had so much empathy and just I was telling Kelly, I was walking around and I stopped and started writing, and I was crying, but I just cry a lot without the crying. I just have tears. And I just felt so much like just confrontation, or just all the judgment and the hate and just all the stuff that's in the world. The place was so abundant, but my little bubble, it was full of love. But I could just feel it around me, the people look at me, and I could tell when I would look at them, immediately they're feeling judged. And it's like, but I get it. I understand, because so many people, and I find myself being judgmental, so it's so easy to be judgmental and not even be aware of it.
Because we're just so used to that being part of us.
Yeah.
We just immediately judge things.
But it was just a beautiful experience to see that much diversity, different culture, all in one place, and to just be able to just share love with everybody that really, like, I felt like I just wanted to connect with them. I connected with probably 100 people. Yeah, 4 hours walking around there, just talking. And all I need to do is just open up my mouth with a kind compliment, and it just changes a person's moment, a person's now. I'm not saying I'm changing their whole day, but I do know that in that moment they have had a moment of peace, because I was able to present that to them in that specific moment. And we all have that ability.
And two, I recognize that whenever we speak things to people, that the people all around hear it, and it makes a difference in them too. I was at a store this past week, and whenever I was walking up to the store, I saw this person. And I mean, nowadays it's like you don't know if a person is a guy or a girl, or how people dress and and present themselves. And I'm pretty sure it was a guy, and he had like makeup on, and he's just very colorful in his clothes and everything. And whenever I first noticed and saw him, I just felt so much love. I had so much love, like I just felt it for him. And he just like stood out, and I don't know, I felt that. And so as I was leaving the store, he came within my bubble, my circle, and I just told him, I feel like God places people within our reach, at certain times. And so whenever he was close to me, I just went up to him and I told him, I was like, I love you. I mean, it's the weirdest thing to tell a stranger that you love them. But I was feeling it in my heart. I was just like, I love you. And he returned, he said, I love you too, and I was just like, you emanate just this feeling of freedom and this feeling of joy. And I was just like, I just wanted to let you know that, and it just lit him up. And the people, there were people around me like listening and watching, what I was saying, but I do that a lot whenever I'm out and about. I find things to compliment people about, and I'm just always trying to spread that love to people. And it's so funny because my daughter, she was telling me not that long ago how she does that same thing. And people will like kind of laugh at her and be like, why do you do that? And it's just because it just feels good. It feels good to spread love, out in the world. It just lifts everyone. Something else you said, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it made me think about a blessing that I recently received. And it said something along the line of live in revelation. And so that's been on my mind a lot, like every day since I've received that blessing. And it's like, what do I need to do to live in revelation? Like what choices am I making in my life that maybe is preventing me from living constantly in a state of receiving revelation? It's like it's been like a huge shift for me, helping me to see the things that I still do in my life that that are fine. I mean, nothing's wrong with it. Yet, maybe it's preventing me. Like there are other choices that I can make that could be better, that could bring me into a greater state of living in constant revelation. And, you know, I've never thought about it before that's even a possibility, that we can always be in revelation. Because, you know, we hear about receiving revelation, and it's like these moments of awareness, you know, during prayer or during meditation, or, you know, during going to church, you know, we receive this revelation. But can you imagine living your life in revelation, where it's a constant flow of receiving the next word, receiving constantly, being aware of all of the people that are around us, being sensitive to everything around us, and the fact that is a state of being that we can live in. And the more that I do to bring myself to that place, like, I get it, I see it. I see choices that I make that keep me from being in that, you know, states of being that may come up, that, like, ways of thinking that are patterns, that are just ways of being, that I'm just have these ruts within my life, you know, but I'm seeing them. Like the other day, it was really funny. It was interesting to me. I opened up, it's such little simple things will show us patterns within ourselves and ways of thinking that just come out of nowhere. I opened up my dishwasher, and something was in there weird, and I think it collected water, or I don't know, something. And I had an immediate thought that was, why did he put it in there like that? It was an immediate blame thought. And I was like, where did that come from? Because it was probably me. I'm probably the one that caused it to be the way that it was. Yet I have this pattern within me that is like a blame. Like it's always someone else's fault. Like if something's on the floor, like crumbs, and that was another thing. Like there were crumbs on the floor, and I was like, why did he do, you know? And I'm like, that's probably me, because I'm in the kitchen the most and I make the most crumbs. But there is this thought pattern within me that I have learned to put the blame outside of myself for things that happen in my life. And, you know, and that comes up in really funny moments, but you know, and when it came up, I was like, well, where does that come from? And I was like, I don't need to nurse that puppy. Mm-hmm. I don't need to sit there and figure it out. You know, I can see,
acknowledge it.
I can see that I have a blame thing within me, and I don't have to be that way today. I don't have to latch on to that way of thinking and being. Yeah. I'm not who I've always been. And so it's as we recognize these ways of thinking that are not healthy, that's not filled with love for ourselves and for other people, we're able to just let those things go, and it lifts us up to be able to be in that constant state of receiving revelation. It's like I'm able to see that and just let it go and be who I am. You know, without just holding on to those stories, holding on to those judgments, holding on to that stuff that keeps us blocked from being open to the Spirit, in, you know, constantly being part of our days.
Yeah, it's so easy to be judgmental, and it's so sneaky in so many different ways. And anytime that we're doing something like that, we are blocking off revelation. You know, we're not loving. Most of my judgments are self-judgments, and I'm able to see it in other people, and so I'm like, oh, well, that person just did that. Well, why did I see it so easy? We've all heard it before. It's because it's within us. So I choose not to judge myself anymore. I can notice patterns. I can recognize things that are deep rooted in my DNA from generations, and just say, that's just not who I am today. You know? I mean, I could really just continue to beat myself up for the rest of my life over the years of slothfulness, gluttony, envy, just all that crap that's how I lived. I was always fearful of not having enough. Never wanted anybody to know who I was. It's like, I just don't care anymore. And it's so freeing that I no longer have to put up some type of show for anybody. Nobody in my life. I was able to stay with some people this weekend, and when I first got there, it was like there was a sense of disturbance. And I just came straight out and said, look, I don't care about anything. I'm in your zone. This is your space. And I'm here. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I have no judgment of anything. And I was able to share my experience and what I've been through. And it just broke down all those walls. It broke down all those, feelings of like I was going to be judgmental to them. Well, let me go ahead and share where I've been and what I've done. And then all of a sudden it just brought this peace. And I was able to spend a week in this home that was so peaceful. And when I left, they said, you can come back anytime you want. This has been such a wonderful week. Told me I was the best guest they've ever had in their house. And I'm just being me, and I don't think maybe I shouldn't even say that. Maybe that's a prideful thing. I don't know. I have to beware of pride at all times. But just sharing that we can completely change our environment by just loving. Just love without conditions. Doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter what they smell like. It doesn't matter anything. The only thing Jesus ever taught was love yourself, love God, and love your neighbor. And I'm finally just loving myself. I'm finally at a point where I love myself to the point where I can just love anybody. I don't have to have motives or I'm seeking something from somebody. I have everything I need. God has given me everything I need and more. And I just want to love everybody.
I'm still working. Like, I'm still coming into loving myself. And I sometimes get judgmental with myself because I feel like I should be further along. It's like I get a little envious of you, kind of like your experiences and things you share with me. And I'm like, I'm not where he is. I'm still in this place. And, and I'm like,
but I'm not where he is either.
Right. Well, exactly. That's the point.
And there's always somebody I can point to.
Exactly.
And I'm not where you are.
Right. Yeah. And and it's like, and I'm having to really come into just realize that I just am where I am and it's perfect, like we're just in such different places. I feel like I'm right now in this simmering pot of a lot of emotional stuff within like my own life and within the lives of people around me, and I have to keep continuing to give myself grace because I've been in a women's trauma recovery group. So it's like I'm in this open container for 3 months with other women who are talking about trauma. And we're learning all of these different coping skills, and we're discussing stuff and opening up about stuff. And so it's like all this stuff I'm in it, and that's heavy stuff that I'm processing. And it's like I sometimes have in my mind, I'm like, I should be further along than I should be over this stuff, but it's like I have had different experiences than you've had. I've had different experiences than other people have, and it's like, and it all takes us the amount of time it takes us to overcome things and to get things out of us, and sometimes I'm like, that should be out of me by now, I see that, I recognize that, I'm not clinging on to it anymore, but there's still things that as I talk and we share in this group that I realize is there, and it's okay, it's totally okay. And as things come up in the lives of the people around me, it brings up stuff in me. And it's so perfect. Like, God is just revealing things to me. Like, I am in this state of revelation. I truly see and recognize that things are being revealed in my personal life and in the lives of others around me. And so I am living in revelation, and as I continue to speak those words to myself, like, that has become part of my daily affirmations, is that I live in revelation. And as I continue to speak those words to myself, I'm constantly seeing the choices I'm making, and it's helping me to live in revelation, to seek that, to always be in it. And I just love that those words were given to me, to give me that to strive for and to live in. It's an awesome thing, and it's something for everybody. Like, it's not just for me, and you, like, something that came to me also, a blessing that Corey had received, it said something about resentments coming up that were from, like,
subconscious.
Yeah, stuff that we don't even know about. And so I recognized, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I had something happen, I can't remember what it was, but it brought to my awareness that I was still holding on to some resentment about something I didn't even realize was there. Like, I thought I was, like, good and past it, but I was like, there was something there. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was so grateful that I just saw it and it was just able to leave. And I was just like, that, and it brought me to feel so much love. As I recognized that resentment and it was able to leave, I was just able to fill it with love and just grace, and it's just incredible. It really is.
It's funny when you talk about, like, that sense of envy for where I'm at. Whenever I'm talking about, like, the progress I'm making, it's like I'm always sharing examples of your progress. It's not my progress. I'm showing examples of, like, how much you've come along. It's nothing to do with me. Like, I'm always looking at, like, the things that you've improved on, and the ways that when I have deep conversations with people, it always comes to, like, my sister Kelly's helped me so much in this way and that way. And it's funny that you're, like, looking at me like I wish I was there, and it's like you're the one that's been such a huge catalyst to get me to where I'm at. And it's like, I wouldn't be here without you, the way that God has orchestrated this is just perfect.
Yeah,
but I don't even know how long it's been, but I can tell you that I'm not manic. I'm just so happy, and I am just so at peace. And it's because I choose to love everybody that I come into contact with. And it's just, anybody can do it, but it does take forgiving myself and no longer beating up on myself, and just putting good stuff in my body, putting good stuff in my mind. My days just disappear, my weeks disappear, and it's like, where does all the time go? But I have so much time to do so much, and I just close my eyes at night, I'm asleep. I open my eyes in the morning, I'm wide awake, usually 5 hours, and I'm just ready for another awesome day. I just love my life where it's at. And, maybe it's because I'm all alone and I'm getting to know myself. And I would love to be able to share this with somebody whenever that comes, but it's just, I love. And I want the whole world to just love. Love. I mean, it's such a wonderful feeling to give love and to be able to feel it just flow back in even greater. It's like no matter how much I love somebody, no matter how much energy I put out into the universe, it just pours back into me, and it's like I just feel more love, and I just have more to give. It's the law of abundance. The more you give, the more you receive. This life is so beautiful, and there's just so much beauty that I missed out on so many years, and I don't want to miss another sunrise. I don't want to miss another sunset, and I just love being able to think, to be able to absorb things, to remember things, to know chronologically what's happened each day of my week, instead of like having months that are just wiped out, erased,
Yeah, it just feels good to love the day, to love the moment that we're in all of it. And just through all of it, just to be loved, to feel love, to express love, to be able to lift ourselves as we make these choices to lift ourselves. It just lifts other people around us. We don't have to tell people what they need to do or should do or like anything. It's just we just love people exactly where they are, in the choices that they're making, how they're living. We just love. We don't have to judge it. We don't have to tell them to do something different. We just live our lives, and we just make good choices for ourselves, and we just be. And we just allow others to be without judgment. It is. It's so different. It's just such a different way to live, and I'm just really grateful for the path and just the progress, and that we've been able to do this together and learn together and be brought to listen to things and to just be at the same place. It helps to have a person, to share stuff with.
Definitely. Best therapy in the world.
It is.
And I say, with technology and with the ability to really treat our bodies good, with the damage that I've done to my body over the last 30 years, with periods of with all the damage I've done, I truly believe I could live to be 150 years old. And I haven't missed out on anything. Now it's just a matter of living my life in a clean, giving my body everything it needs so that I can just keep living. And I don't know how long God's going to have me on earth, but I do know that I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. And I just love it.
Yeah, me too.
Life's too beautiful to waste, and one thing we'll never get back is our time. So no reason to sit around and waste my time regretting the past when I can go ahead and start loving the present. There's no better time than now. And I do, with all that being said, I do have a lot of sympathy or empathy or just a lot of feelings for people that are still just stuck in depression and addiction and just in that cycle. You don't have to stay there. There is help. If you've got an opiate addiction, look at my Sublocade video. It's just, there is so much help. There's so much help for no matter what you're going through. Everybody is addicted to something. I don't see my life ever getting to a point in a mortal body where I don't have something I'm dependent on. Water being one of those. But
yeah, because we can get really obsessed with just about anything, like even good stuff, good choices. Like I was thinking yesterday about like blueberries. It's like I've been eating a lot of blueberries, and it's like blueberries are a great thing for us, but there's comes a point
when you
where
hit too many.
Yeah, you can have too many. You can have too much of a good thing, and then it becomes harmful for us. And so it's anything can become just too much and obsessive.
So it's been a while since me and Kelly's been, it feels like forever. I've just been living in the moment, but it feels like it was just yesterday that we were together at the same time. But I don't know when we did our last recording, but
it was like a week ago.
Life is beautiful. Another week has gone by, and I am still just in a place of serenity that I just want to share it with everybody.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one person.
Mm-hmm.
Like we always say, even if it's just Kelly.
Yeah, exactly. And me too. I'm like just constantly in surrender. I just surrender. I keep surrendering everything. And, you know, I mean, I've been, if y'all have been watching, I've been going through a bunch of stuff lately. And now I've got something going on, like sinus allergy thing, whatever it is. But, you know, it's just like, I just keep surrendering and just continuing to just make the next best choice. That's what it just comes down to, just making the next best choice. And if we make one that's really not the best, we forgive ourselves and we just make a new best choice. That's what it's all about. It's just progress and joy.
Wherever you are in life, just do something a little better.
Yeah.
There is nobody better than me, and there's nobody worse than me. Everybody is where they are. And if I can do one thing better in my life, and another person can do something better in their life, we have both improved at the exact same amount today. So that's all we have is today. So if I and somebody else both improve a little today, we've both improved a little today. And that's all that we have. That's all we've got is now.
And it's about joy. You know, we might have joy, and it's like I'm constantly looking like if I'm feeling a little off or whatever, I'm just like, what will bring me joy right now? Because this life is meant to have joy. Yes, it's a human experience, and so we experience all of it. We experience the challenges, the hard things, but we can constantly find joy in it, whether it's like a flower, whether it's like taking a bath, whether it's like eating something that we just really enjoy, just whatever it is, you know, wherever we find our joy. And a lot of times whenever we like express to other people our love and gratitude, I mean, we feel it, we feel joy.
Love is the answer.
It really is.
It's really,
truly.
I mean, Jesus taught it, all your gurus taught it, but it is love is the answer to everything. Just love without conditions. It doesn't matter. I love y'all. Anybody that listen.
Yep.
Y'all
Thank
bring
you.
me joy.
Very much. Bye, y'all.